Hello everyone, welcome. Dr. Rao here. Been busy writing something on stress in modern life and how we can really borrow some hacks, from the Esther years. And um, I'm kind of happy the way it has come about because some of the things I see when I'm coaching people for stress and burnout. Um, a lot of them they said we wish we had learned these hacks a while ago, and we would not have gone through all this, um, you know, stress and burnout and really unhappiness for some time. That made me realize I should put it into book form so that people they may not have money or resources to enroll in courses or anybody, or they may be not really addressing the current stresses in their life. So I do talk about these things every day, but then they just have to be in a form that they could understand. It came up to 9 chapters. And then each chapter, I started with introducing the book, the purpose of the book, and then I took statistics of what the stress is doing to us. I know for sure we kind of spend a lot of money on stress-related diseases in the hospital, and then they came out like a $300 billion in U.S. alone per year. That knocked me out of the number when I saw that. But I wanted to really go through that and then present how this stress is affecting us in different ways, right? So we always talk about, and we kind of try to address it and all that. So the chapters are go all the way to 9 chapters and the conclusion. And some I had to rewrite because I was getting more of what I was teaching in the regular life, right? Um, for example, when I get up in the morning, it used to be all my schedule, all the things that had happened in the past, everything overcrowded, not anymore. So how can you do that is we just build up like what is really here and now. It takes some time to wash up all that we accumulate, but once you are, in the right range of frequency of the brain waves, you will be fine. So there is what's called gamma wave meditation, gamma wave enhancing meditation, right? That's for really very advanced people who really want to stay in there. But then I, and, in a simple way, what it is there is some saying in ancient wisdom is just be yourself, not your personality and ego self. That is what we make up in the life, right? And then we try to get out of that pretty hard. But before that, before we found ego, before we really have all these images about ourselves, or the phantom shadows about ourselves, we are in that real self, right? It looks like I'm repeating the same thing again and again, but that is true. It is you have to be, just be yourself, okay? Then especially in the morning. And if you have slept without much to remember and all that, you will be much better off in the morning. But if you are carrying a lot of stuff from yesterday, this morning, the wake up, they will all come. And also, what we are planning for the day ahead comes. That's natural, right? It is going to come. But there is a gap between you, your being, and this what I call I thought. first thought. And then it goes so fast, we cannot even really attend to that, right? So try to be that first gap where you don't have this I thought outcome. It helps not to open the devices. It helps to focus on your breathing. It helps to really be in the moment with the live things around you. All those things I talk about all the time, right? But that has become really very easy once you understand you don't allow yourself to run with the thought. See, what we do is we get on the thought train and we build it more and more and more. Now, neuroscience is showing us with the neuroplasticity, if you do the same thing of a habit of a thought in your mind, that gets really concretized, you know, like gets very strong within itself, and then that neural paths, and then you get all the thoughts, right? So you have to do the reverse for that. Okay? You just restrain to get into the thought patterns, but rather, uh, for a few seconds or for a few minutes, okay? Then uh, you will be able to be in that more and more through the day, and also use your faculty of thought to do stuff, right? But I think we identify with the thought very quickly, and we kind of go in there very, very easily, right? We fall for the trap, right? Very easily. So remember that, and when you get up in the morning, try to be yourself. No thoughts, just yourself. And then the gap continues, grows, and all that. The more you have understanding is established in this inner essence, inner self, the more you will be in there, right? Then, if you don't know anything about it, you automatically allow the thoughts to continue and then they form, okay? But the people who are at least did some formal meditation where they're sitting down and focusing on one thing or repeat something or just able to keep their thoughts in one particular place, they may have easier time, okay? But the people who never do anything about reflection and never think about calming your mind down in the morning, in the evening, then they allow the thought to fortify itself, in the grooves that you are thinking, in the grooves you are allowing unconsciously everything. So be aware, be yourself in the morning. So you are there, then you can do deep breaths, and it will also allow you to slow down the thoughts if the thoughts are there. But I'm talking about a thoughtless state you can catch right after you get up. Okay? Try to catch that. Don't give explanations. Just do it. Just be with it. That's the problem because everything is taking its own course and is running away, right? And before we realize it, we have a bunch of networks and we got caught. It's like a spider, but we are a very, very efficient spider. Right in the morning, you kind of perform so many networks of thought, and then we get caught in, right? Uh, you know why it is when you are not in that network of thought, you are really joyful because you just don't have those thoughts going all over. You just enjoy the moment, see a flower, listen to a dog barking, or look at your wife, your kids, or whatever, right? Yeah, yeah. So that's what I first to do is smell at them the moment I see them. And also, if I go to the bathroom, I smell it myself, That's a good thing to do, right? Then think of maybe something you're grateful for. Ancient had a very good way of doing that because they woke up and they said, "Yeah, good, I'm alive. Good, the prana, the life force is coming to me as breath. I'm grateful for that." And also, oh yeah, I have this intelligence as a human being to understand things, to look at things. I can turn that intelligence inward and look at my own thoughts and feelings and all. So they are just happy to be human being, happy to be having this life force going in them, and happy that they are human being. They know the value of human life, and they are connected with everything, right? And there is no that we are all oneness. So that kind of thing. And then once you get up and maybe you want to have an elevated thought, or maybe you want to really uh, uh, have an affirmation that's going to be very good for you. And affirmations work for people whose thoughts are going away. Then you bring all your thoughts into the affirmation, and if the affirmations if they're positive, then you say, okay, I'm going to think about this rather than whatever that comes to my mind. So that's you can have a vision board that you have sketched out for what you want to do in your life, and that kind of initial elevation of thought, instead of allowing it to run wherever. Usually people get up and then they allow the thought to go all over. Vagabond, I call it. Don't let it vagabond. If at all you cannot be thoughtless state, just be uh, yourself and then say, okay, which way I want to go in thinking about anything. Okay, that is a structured mind, organized mind. You can have that if you cannot have thoughtless state. You can have an organized mind, and go from there. Okay, and then you resolve to be, I am going to be in the moment, no matter how much how many things come. I am going to be in the moment, and in the moment means uh, just open your eyes, hear with your ears. You are here, but you are not hearing. That's what they say, right? But you want to hear whatever you are hearing, and then you perceive what you have sensed, and then you will be able to direct it towards it. Otherwise, something like a smell comes, and then you crave for that food, and then your inner craving kicks. Then you want to go and eat that, and you don't have appetite of all that, but then you still have that craving, right? And then you eat, and then you regret later on what I'm doing. So at that time, you could say, "Oh, I'm not hungry, but this thing has come, the smell. I will not accept the smell." That is called pratyahara in yoga. So you kind of let the sensory stimulus come and stimulate you, but then you kind of put it away. That's also can be learned. That's okay. If you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, that's a different matter. But if you want to understand, I am not going to let my senses take me away. See, what we were at the thought, and then we went to the externally to the senses. So usually thought is our property. Thought is our mind, right? Mind is our property, and senses are property of the mind. So mind being servant, senses are servant of the mind, and we are servants of the servant. That's what happens, right? With all of us. So I mean, these are all normal for all the people. I'm just telling you how you could liberate yourself from all this and just be. See again, just be is to understand mind operation, understand senses operation, and understand where they dominate you, where you don't want to let them dominate you. See, that is actually they are really simple, but we make them very complicated because we think a lot about it, right? And then we kind of allow so many things dominate us, and then we say, "Oh, I'm being very thoughtful and all that," but then thought is only one truth. Okay, so see the fundamental thing about ancient wisdom and here is we are more worried about how to live, how to earn livelihood, how to experience things, everything about this life. But then what they were worried about is what is life, how it has come about, where it is going to go, what is it is operating here that leaves us suffering or fleeting joys. Is there a state where you are really quiet and calm within you? There's a thoughtless state, peaceful, and also joyful and blissful, and also don't have this mind running away with the problems and the good things without any control. Okay, that kind of thing. So this that happens quite often. Okay, the people let external circumstances really dominate us. Okay, equanimous. Remember what I was talking about in the the three attitudes in the morning routine. One is just be responsive but not reactive. That means your mind, with your emotional content and all that, is not moving if extreme joy or extreme winning or extreme loss, whatever it is, right? And that is what the ancient wisdom lets you know. And the second thing is cultivate a sense of service. I'm going to just be service or to be whatever you do, offer it like a service. I know this is very not popular because everybody wants a transactional thing, right? What I'm going to get if I do this. Versus, I am abundant. I have all this inner abundance. Why can't I give? That's not like you are superhuman being or you are perfect. No, you just are aware of your inner essence that is abundant, and out of that you have the capacity to participate or to be kind, to be compassionate, to be loving, to wish, and all that. And that is the abundance. I'm not talking about the material things. I'm talking about inner have the qualities of human. Human being is kind of this human being, a human tribe, he doesn't want to hurt them. Human being is he wants to help them if you want. He wants to be kind to the animals, so kind to the plants. He wants to be very loving to the people around him. So that kind of thing happens only if you don't have bunch of thoughts in your mind. Just be a normal human being. It's not a big deal to be that. But we kind of allowed our minds to go so far away from all that. That's why it's difficult. We have our own self, and then we say, I have to protect myself. I have to protect my family. I have to experience all the things. I have to have good time. And those are all, temporary. They come and go. So once you realize that, then you turn inward, and then you find your own diamond, and then you say, "Oh, I have a lot of evidence within me. Why don't I get right?" So you have woke up and you have established yourself in the presence. You prepared yourself for some service. Whatever you want to do, offer it like a service, right? And then don't react emotionally for everything. And the third thing is be equanimous in your mental, your understandings or whatever. Equanimous to troubles and winnings like that. Okay, those three attitudes, and also get up and let the body stretch and deep breathe, and also be in the present and watch your thoughts. That is something people don't do. People just I'm going to think. I'm going to think whatever that comes, and then. But if you allow your mind to be organized and also structured, you want to really watch the thoughts, see the flow of thoughts, the rapidity in which they come, either coming from your memory or from your surroundings, the stimuli, right? And when they come, what is the thought? What's the quality of it? Do you resent somebody, or are you joyful about their winnings? That kind of thing. All those. Once you are pausing a little bit from the thought and be that witness consciousness that you are, then you'll be able to um, see the thoughts much more clearly. Because thoughts are happening to you. You're not the thoughts. That is a fundamental thing, right? So if you identify with the thoughts and the mind that is made up by the conglomeration of all the thoughts, then you're lost. But if you really have a pause between you and your thoughts, then thoughts are happening and they're coming. I don't have to react to everything, but I could also see if there's a negative thought, I have the capacity to transform it to something positive, something around it, and it will be positive. This has profound implications of depression and anxiety. If you feel negative and then you go on reinforcing it, then you will be depressed about it, just by thinking. But if you are really thinking anxiously that something is going to happen to you in the future without any reason, your own thinking can make you very anxious. I think everybody knows this. There are degrees of this in everybody. But the person who is thoughtless and using thought as something. Thoughtless means he doesn't allow the thoughts to run all the time. That is very peaceful. Believe me, that is a very, very peaceful, joyful condition. Okay? But you will be very efficient about thought and doing whatever you want to do. Right? So, my morning practice, seven principles. Four we do. One is stretch or exercise your body. Deep breathe into it so that it is energized. At the same time, your vagus nerve is stimulated so you can handle more stress in the upcoming day. Instead of reacting, we'll be responding, and that's a very good thing. All this, fight or flight syndrome process that people develop for nothing these days is really giving a lot of stress. So understand that and say, okay, there's a antidote for this, that is the parasympathetic nervous system activation, vagus nerve activation by deep. So you stretch first and you breathe deeply and you try to be in the present and you want to watch your thoughts. These four things you do, okay, in the morning. Three things are just not to react, determine not to react, excuse me, and be in sense mode and equanimous. Let me take a sip of water. So that's where I am. So you go about work and be attentive to everything you do, only one task at a time, and come home and reflect on all that happened and empty the mind and go to sleep. This is the routine I always think, morning routine, 7, and then daytime, just be attentive to everything that you do. Evening, you empty your mind and relax your body by progressive muscle relaxation. If you just do this routine, I'm sure you are not allowing a lot of your unconscious habits produce stress for you. And you are actually aware and knowledgeable about how stress happens in your life. And also by living this life, whatever you do, it doesn't matter which job you do, I think you will be better off. And also, just because you're working in a modern condition of any hospital, corporation, anything, you don't have to uh, uh, expose yourself to this stress making. Okay. So, anybody has any questions? What I said so far, you will come up, and I'll be happy to engage with you. Generally, the questions come from people asking, how can we heal ourselves? That is exactly what you want to focus on, remembering on, and then uh, the time between day and night and day. That is the time that you want to be see that. If at all you slept very well and then you slept naturally and you slept because no influence of medications or alcohol, then when you get up, suppose you go to a retreat, you have a beautiful spot, and then you had very good sleep last night, and you get up in the morning, you can catch the time when you are. Just be yourself. Okay, that once you catch it, you know the taste of it, then you will be cutting. But then modern life is feeding so many thoughts all the time. People allow everything to go into them, and I call them putting like a dustbin, all sorts of things that we don't need. Limit them. Once you are aware of that, then you will be limiting. Okay, let me just look to what is my focus? What is the aim I'm doing it? What is the importance of this in my life? That kind of things. If you can see that, then you don't have to follow gossip. You don't have to follow all the negative stories in the world, and you can always focus and in flow at work, that those all those things will happen. I know these are all very tough things, but they are there. They are there for you to use them. And you just have to get into that kind of rhythm, understanding. Not like you converse among yourself and say, "Oh, I had a nice talk," but then not paying attention to, yeah, it's a nice talk, but how many things are really relevant to me? How many things are meaningful to me? How many things really help me to be focused and to organize in my thinking? That kind of reflection, also self reflection, self knowledge about these things. That's why you want to watch films. That's why it's one of the four things I do in the morning. I invite people to do exercise where they actually watch. I do Shambhavi Mudra, but it is actually they said about I'm not this body and mind, and I have the same of force. That's why you remember that in the morning, then you'll be really able to separate thought and mind a little bit, and that separation from that and your real being makes a huge difference. Okay, so I mean, I can go on like this on this topic, but then if some feedback is there, then I'll be happy to answer those questions. I am completing that book, Stress, and how we can really respond to modern world's stresses with some insights or hacks from the ancient wisdom. So I kind of went into the statistics and the expenditure and the toll of stress on our physical body, mental body, social relations, and all that. Then I explained about what is stress is really like, and how it is really impacting us, and how we could really use ancient wisdom. That's the chapter 8, I think. Chapter 8, that has got pretty long, and I describe all my measures. Uh, I use breathing, I use calming the mind, I use being in myself. But for me now, I'm in awareness most of the time, and then use thought. So actually, I don't have this problem with thought going all the time. That means silence, beautiful silence, right? And really not looking for things, but more like a content with what we have, and also be experiencing that oneness with everything. Okay, so it's a very peaceful, joyful, and happy situation inside. So I don't have to take any drugs. I don't have any alcohol. Anything like that. Very pure joy of being with yourself, with your inner self, not your egoic self. That is not there anymore. But it's but everybody has to look for that. Am I coming to ego or am I coming to my real me? And then that itself will reveal a lot. Nobody can point out that to you. You got to see it yourself. And then the peace that is within, the happiness that is within, they call that unalloyed. Nothing stops. It just flows out. Okay. So it's kind of, for example, I'm having a discussion with something, and then we have, different perspectives, and they say, I don't agree with you, or you don't agree. Only thing is, I don't have any mental reaction for that. Okay, that's his view, is my view. That's it. So there's no need to convince them. Maybe they are not ready for it, or there is no real interest to exert yourself because you are not trying to dominate them. You are trying to speak the truth. That's it. But if they are not able to see it, maybe they are not ready. That's okay. They will be ready at their own time. And you don't have to blame them. You don't have to blame yourself because of it. It's not a question of agreeing at the thought level. It's a question of perceiving the truth at a deeper level. Some people can do, some people cannot do, right? So you just understand that it's uh, see the truth beyond the understanding. Okay? That is the one you want to get to the truth. That is beyond understanding. So once you have that, then it's a blessing. Human life is a blessing. Okay, no matter you are rich or poor or whatever, it is not. So my job as a physician, as a now practitioner of yoga and Advaita Vedanta, I say I'm only a practitioner. I'm not saying I'm an expert in the yoga, but I may have been advanced training in yoga, Advaita. But you still realize how much you don't know. So that's why I'm saying I'm a student of that. And so the instinct for me is if people are having stress and burnout and suffering, just offer the techniques that I know, the things that work for people. And lots of times it's like receiving the same old people in a different body because they go through the same stresses, same problems, same energy waste, and then uh, of all things, I feel like if only they know who they are, what kind of joy, what kind of happiness and peace they can experience, then I am motivated to, at least get them to see what I'm talking about. You know, it takes time. It takes time once you are in that, pattern of thinking that is holding you. You cannot see this sometimes. But once you see that, it's so simple. It's very right there in front of you. You know, so just be yourself and be peaceful and happy. Thank you, and I'll be seeing you again.